So I was working the open house for my school today, and who should come up to me but one of my subscribers. She said that because of watching my videos, that's what made her go into this, and I was extremely flattered. So I guess I was inspired by her to do another video because I know that I've been ignoring this channel for a while. I haven't been meaning to, I've just been busy as hell, and hopefully she will vouch for me in the comments. I got elected to vice president of my class, and I've also been elected to the president of the sorority. Hope you guys were sitting down when you heard those. I'm even still in the clothes that I was wearing for the open house, so this is, you know, my business casual attire, if you can't really tell, but I guess it's less casual, more business. I even had high heels on, and I'm like 5'10" in high heels, and that's always awkward. I wanted to use this video to answer the questions that you guys have been asking me, and I have not been answering. Cheesy Stranger asks, do morticians have their own equivalent of the Hippocratic Oath? I mean, at the graduation ceremony, would there be a reading of some documents telling the students to take ethical responsibility vis-a-vis the dead? No, not officially. However, each funeral home each good funeral home will have you sign a contract, and in that contract it does state something to the effect of anybody who comes through the prep room, any family that comes in, you owe them privacy in every possible manner that you can provide. So as far as there being a law enacted or something that's very similar to the Hippocratic Oath, no. But each funeral home themselves will enact that law of privacy that you have to give to the family. Freak7109 asks, do you learn pathology stuff as well? Like the more forensic side of things? What would make this bruise here, the body look like this, etc.? And do you find this interesting, or do you prefer the preservation/reconstruction aspect of it? We learn everything, which is really nice. In my third quarter, I'll be taking a micropathology class, and that is the study of diseases and how they affect the body in ways that you may or may not be able to see. As far as like the forensic stuff, they go into it, but only to the extent of how is this going to affect you as an embalmer. So I guess you would be surprised about how much of the information goes hand in hand, though, because maybe if a person dies from, say, a drug overdose, well, that drug overdose is going to cause changes in their body that will affect you as an embalmer, so you have to look for those changes. So if you recognize those changes in the body, then, I mean, that's essentially doing forensics, is saying, well, you can see a vessel burst here, and more than likely that was because of a cocaine overdose. So, if you're looking to go into forensics and you don't know the first step, I would say that going into a mortuary program is actually a really good first step. And as far as my own personal preference, I like all of it. And I like that they go so hand in hand, because eventually I would like my own career to go in the direction of forensics as well. So it is really nice to get just a foundational knowledge of forensics. Ladomway asks me to track blood flow from the head to the foot, and to that I say fuck you, because that's like a million steps and I'm not doing it. A lot of you have asked what brought me here in the first place. How did I even decide to be a mortician? And it's kind of anti-cathartic, really. I studied anthropology for 4 years, and I was going to go into forensic archaeology. Forensic archaeology is, they're the people who go and find, people that have just been reduced to bones, and they look at the bones and they determine how they died. They can sometimes determine their diet, when they lived, their age, their sex, their height, weight, that kind of stuff. And I really wanted to do that, and I would still love to be able to do that. But the truth of the matter is that there's just no money in the field whatsoever. Especially after the recession hit, a lot of the archaeologists are reliant on grants, and nobody's giving academic grants anymore. So I took a year and a half off from school entirely. It was the most miserable year and a half of my entire life. I was working 4 jobs just to make full-time. I didn't have a degree, so I wasn't, they were all like coffee shop jobs and retail and just terrible. And I'm not really sure exactly what it was that brought me to the realization that mortuary science might be an option. But I remember reading Marianne Roach's Stiff, and I've always been really interested in that stuff. I watched CSI when I was younger, which, by the way, does not give an accurate portrayal of anything that goes on in a forensics lab. And so I've always kind of been interested in it. As far as what actually brought me to type in mortuary school into Google, I have no clue. Somehow I just randomly found out that one of the nation's most prominent mortuary science colleges is in my city that I've lived in for 25 years, and I knew nothing about it, and just decided that that's what I wanted to do. That it made sense, and it was close enough to what I'd been studying all these years, and that I could stomach it, and that I'm smart enough to put the work into it and put the effort into it. So that's what I did. I got on their website and I requested materials, and then for the next 2 years after that, well, yeah, 2 years, year and a half, something like that, that is all I did. I lived, breathed, and studied to get into the school. Every single course that I took was somehow related to the curriculum that I would be taking, and I was just kind of building up my general courses and work that they required. They required me to take 2 business classes, and I'd never taken business before in my life. So I did that, and I'm finally here. It took me about 3 years. Well, no, I mean, I guess it took me about 8 years to actually decide what I wanted to do with my life, but here I am. Better late than never, I suppose. So while I'm already doing this video, I wanted to show you guys some of the further work that we've done with the wax heads. We've gotten through ears. I think I showed you guys the ears. At least I'm pretty sure anyway. I showed you guys those. This is my fiance's ear, and this is the girl that was sitting next to me in class. We've done noses, and unfortunately I've already destroyed them because I needed the wax. And we're on to mouths, and mouths are incredibly hard. So this is the one that I did the first time in class. And I wanted to do a smaller one. So there's that one. You can see it. And here's the third one that I did. I'm pretty proud of that one. That one's alright. And then I have one on my armature right now that I have to do a little more work on it. I just have to paint over it with some acetone to get it to be a little bit smoother. But looks like he's going in for a kiss. That's what we're working on right now. We're doing mouths. And last is going to be eyes, and I hear that that's really hard. So I've decided who I'm going to do for my face. I'm going to do Patrick Stewart as he was in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yes, I've decided upon it. Thanks guys for keeping subscribed, and I do actually update my Twitter more often. I mean, I tweet at least once a day. So I'll put the link to my Twitter in the bar below if you guys are interested in that. But thank you very much for keeping up with my channel and putting up with my sporadic videos. And thank you again to the person who came up and introduced themselves to me at the open house. I appreciate that, and it inspired me to start doing more work on my channel.